G'day guys, welcome back. We're ready for game number 2 between Intel and Storm8. Currently Intel with a pretty solid lead of 1-0 with a very strong showing in game number 1. We are about to get into game number 2 on a very pretty Protossy map. I think it's called Starship, something like that. I've seen it a few times. I don't actually, it's not my favorite map, but we're about to see it go down. The tile set is gorgeous. And we're going to be watching Preeminence versus the Terran Cold Terran. So let's jump straight into that game. Here we go. All right, in the bottom left here, we have got the Terran Cold Terran. He is Terran. And what can we say about Terran here? They've mentioned that, well, Storm8 mentioned that he is their very own QXC. And I've got to say, having a QXC on your team sounds pretty handy.
Yeah, for sure. That means lots of crazy drops. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works out against the other player, which is the Blue Protoss Preeminence. Yes,
Preeminence undefeated so far in this season. Woo!
Yeah, they're pulling out some big names in these lineups. We're seeing a lot of undefeated people in this this series so far.
Well, you know what that means. Someone's about to lose their winning streak.
Yeah.
Who will it be?
Sure. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Now, PvT is a matchup that I've had a little bit of fun with on the ladder myself. I'm not a very high-level player. I saw that these guys are a reasonably high match. We've got a Masters player in the pool here. The last couple players were Masters. These two are around that level as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Storm8 mentioned that they don't actually go according to ladders and leagues and stuff. They just play a lot of customs.
Zepph,
what?
If you would like to, I'm just going to enable a sound just for a change. And in the middle, if you would like to cast your eyes next to this sexy-looking Protoss thing floating in the middle here, this is a proxy 2-gate.
Yeah, this sure is. Wow, that is not what I expected to see at all.
Not at all.
And this pro is going to be very pleased to scout that there is only one Rax. If he goes a bit further in, he'll also see that there's no gas, so it's likely that Terran will be going for a 1 Rax expand from here. And look at that block.
He's going to do the pylon block, get some zealots out there, and then cancel. Just going to make sure. Yeah, wow. This is a pretty annoying thing for Protoss to do. Very, very cheesy. And Terran is obviously on the ball. He knows exactly what's coming for him right now. Would probably be a good idea to drop a bunker. Needs to block this ramp. Oh, using the mineral trick to get through the SCVs. Putting another pile on the high ground, but the probe does go down.
Very nice.
Losing that probe is good for Terran, bad for Preeminence.
Yeah.
But Zealot production.
He knows something's going on right now because he's now scouted the base of Preeminence and he's like, uh-oh, there's nothing here. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's going on? So even this pylon shenanigan's going to tip him off even further. He will get this pylon down. Will he be able to block off his floating plenty? Can do it.
He will get the block off indeed. The SCV moving down to low ground. I really think he shouldn't expand, but there we go. Okay, the command center is going down, and the Zealots are here, and they're going to try and knock down this door.
Wow, this is pretty well held off so far.
Yeah,
I mean, killing off those pylons actually supply blocked Preeminence, so his next 2 Zealots are definitely going to be delayed. We've only got 1 more coming across the map right now, and having these Marines on the high ground, he's not really going to be able to do anything.
No, this is 3 Zealots wasted right now, although they might be able to, I think they definitely will be able to deny this command center for a little while, or maybe force a cancel. There aren't really enough Marines to deal with 3 Zealots. Like, even though you can kite the Zealots, there's only so much kiting you can do before the Zealots eventually catch up, and they are very good at killing Marines. So that does get cancelled there. I'm not actually sure why he dropped that, but Terran is a better player than me, so let's stop asking questions. 2 more barracks is going behind this, and the command center going up on the high ground, trying to spend that mineral bank, which is substantial, I might add. And in the main of Preeminence, I saw that the SCV sort of was floating down the bottom of the main there. I thought maybe he was going to proxy a structure, but no proxy action from Terran. He's playing a lot more standard. And Preeminence now switching into, he's going double cybernetics core.
Yes. This is actually quite interesting. I'm a little bit confused by that. I was like thinking if it was a bug because I thought the other one was a gate, but nope, it's 2 cyber cores.
That's 2 cybernetics cores. My eyes do not deceive me, but my brain is trying to tell me that it isn't.
Well, maybe he's going for some sort of crazy air build from this because you can get the air weapons on the cyber cores, so perhaps after warp gate tech he'll crank out double air upgrades or something.
Well, Protoss air is very strong. I mean, he could be going for very, very fast air upgrades, like you said, so it'd be an extremely fast Protoss air upgrades, the fastest I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah, it would be a really interesting build too. And Terran here goes for the natural block for preeminence. He does lose the SCV, but it doesn't matter because that NG bay is down.
Yep, he's going to delay this Nexus for ages. But preeminence doesn't care. He's got his second Cybernetics core. He is sitting pretty.
Yeah, preeminence now got some stalkers out from the middle of the map, and he can use that to self-contain Terran so that he can't go out and get any more scouting information, which will be pretty nice for him while he tries to get a better foothold in this game. The command center is now going to come down and land for Terran, and I have to say, I do like how he didn't kind of get flustered and mess up his build from there. He's just transitioned as you normally would, as if nothing happened.
Yeah, and he's preparing for more gateway aggression here, dropping some bunkers on the low ground. Plenty of Marines, and look at this Stargate going down for preeminence. So it looks like he will actually utilize the second Cybernetics core. I mean, it seems like he could probably, if he was doing this build order and wanted to get double Cybernetics core, it seems like he can do without it for a little while, like get it a little bit later, because at the moment it's 150 minerals just kind of sitting there. So, but you know, it is ready for double air upgrades. The gateway upgrade is complete. So, and he actually has enough bank to get air and armor if he wanted at the same time.
Yeah, this is quite interesting actually, because the last time we saw Stargate openings in ZVP frequently was TVP, excuse me, was generally when they were doing that Void Ray all-in style, and then for a little bit people experimented with Phoenixes in the matchup too, and that went okay.
Good scan from Terran.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Very nice scan. In fact, you'll see the robotics facility as well. Very nicely timed scan there from Terran. Sees pretty much everything that preeminence is up to. I think the animation of the Oracle doesn't actually exist in the Stargate yet, or it's really hard to see. I turned the camera to try and spot it, but it wasn't really that obvious to me what unit was coming out of that Stargate, but he could probably guess. The Oracle is heading across the map now, beelining straight from one main to the other, and we'll have to see what he can get done. Let's have a look at the defense here from Terran. He has turrets already on the way in the natural and the main, so it looks like he's going to be prepared here. Yep.
Beautiful moves. He's also grabbing a couple of Widow Mines just for the defense, I suppose, because he's still not 100% sure what's going on. Those two gateways are still in the middle of the map with the Oracle and some units, so just because he doesn't know where the army is or how big it is, that's a fair enough thing to be doing.
Just going to look at the worker count quickly. 33 probes to the 29 SCVs of Terran, so probe production being pretty much on the money here for preeminence. I'm not sure he's missed a beat after that failed proxy gateways, sorry. He's really been on top of his macro.
Terran's actually been skipping a lot of SCV production now. I'm not sure if that's because he's going for more units more quickly.
I think you're right.
Or because he really hasn't been continuing to pump those out consistently. So otherwise he would be a lot more ahead economically. He's had to supply drop a couple of times too. Ooh. So he's really not too focused on his economy at all.
Yeah, just really afraid of follow-up Protoss aggression, which looked like preeminence was teasing the idea of there. He had the Oracle with his army to try and, I guess, just because they do amazing damage to light units, I guess he wanted it to tear through the Marines when he went for that attack.
Yeah.
But against bunkers, Oracles kind of suck. So he split it off from his army, and it looks like he's going to try and go into the main now. And those turrets are done for Terran, so he's going to be just fine. He's got that Widow Mine as well. Boom! Oh!
One hit KO. That Oracle was not expecting that kind of welcoming.
KO. I want to do that Street Fighter 4 overlay, like the slow motion strobe effect thing. Oh well. Didn't get time to edit that in. Haven't seen this replay before, guys. Trying to keep that excitement up, so didn't get to repair that for everyone. Sorry. All right.
Interestingly, Preeminence has Terran's Watchtower, and Terran has Preeminence's Watchtower, so they're both kind of spotting not much for each other's bases, as most of the forces are in the middle for Preeminence and in the base of Terran, but now Terran looks like he's trying to toy with the idea of moving out, seeing what he can get done.
Yep, moving out with a Marine Marauder and a Winnow Mine.
Yep.
The Stalker does see it and tries to get home. Will he get caught, though? Terran does have Stim and Concussive Shell.
This would actually be a really smart timing because when you go for Stargate, of course, that's where your main investments are going. You will have a small ground army, but the first Colossus is coming out for Preeminence. That's the other thing. So that should actually pop in time to hold this attack off. So maybe Terran has just been a little bit too late with this.
I actually fully expect this attack from Terran to be deflected. He's in a really good position here. He's got lots of Zealots.
But he's dropping at the same time in the middle of the main, distracting the Colossus, in fact targeting it down while he stims into the front.
Still not enough units at the front, though. Not managing to break into the natural, but how much damage is he doing in the main? Looks like he actually only killed a few workers there, so well held from Preeminence.
Couple of workers and a bit of damage on the Colossus, so he did very well there, and now he could actually counter push because there's a lot left over. He's about 20, not quite 20 supply up, like 15 or so supply up, but those gateways in the middle of the map are now unpowered. The Medevacs got out of there, so Terran not in the worst position. I would like to see him go and land a third. In fact, he already has one. He's too smart, so yeah, that'll put him in a better position. Too
damn good at StarCraft. And Preeminence actually could probably expand himself if he wanted to. He's got a reasonably good income right now. He's been on the money with his pro production. Let's just see, he is still up. Pretty healthy lead, 56 probes to the 44 SCVs of Terran.
Definitely.
So pretty nice income. And there's a third Nexus. Good work, Preeminence. Both players listening to the casters through the magic of replays. Group replay watching has gotten extra magical.
Both players have actually gone into full macro mode right now. We have that Terran explosion that we get in the mid to late game where everything's just going on. But at the same time, Preeminence, he's gone for double forge now, as well as the Colossus production. Extended Thermal Lance is coming up. Twilight Council's going down. So he's getting everything underway too. And he should actually be able to get a nice upgrade lead with this, seeing as Terran only has +1.
Yep, and now a Mothership core going down for Preeminence. Didn't utilize it in the early game, even with 2 Cybernetics cores. In fact, he hasn't utilized this second Cybernetics core, so I'm thinking that was definitely a mistake from him. But you know what? An extra Cybernetics core, he doesn't even care because he's playing really well right now. He's looking really good. Both players actually very evenly matched, I have to say, in this game so far. Not being able to do much damage to either each other at all.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, even having those 2 cyber cores, it could work in his favor later on in the game. If we go late game and he wants to make an air transition, start getting some Tempests or something, toying around with Sky Toss, that could still come in handy. And I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter if he's got the double cyber or not. And double drop coming out from Terran.
Oh my. These are damaged medevacs, so he needs to be careful here. Does Preeminence have much? He does have 1 Stalker in position for this, but I think that the medevacs should be okay with 1 Stalker.
Yep.
He'll need to do a quick warp in the main, dropping a couple more gateways. His bank isn't that great for that many Stalker warp ins, and Terran is here. This is a pretty scary drop, Zepph. You can get the Forge potentially as well. That would be huge. The Colossus has already been pulled back.
He needs to watch the Colossus though. If that gets targeted down, that would be a nice win for Terran. It looks like he's going for it, but will this actually buy enough time? Nice warp in.
Yeah, beautiful warp in. And the Colossus coming back. Once again, Terran deflected. Didn't manage to really kill anything there.
Yeah, that's very true. But I think Terran is actually sticking very true to his style. As they mentioned, he does like his drops, and that seems to be his way of doing things right now. The first attack also involved a drop.
Against a high-level Protoss, dropping is kind of the best way to get around it. I mean, generally you go for 2 drops while attacking with a ground army if you have the units, and it goes pretty well. He's going for a lighter drop in the main now, but I think this might just be a distraction to get that unit, the composition out of position for this big drop on the 3rd.
Yeah, definitely. And he's going to hit just before 2 photon cannons finish. He has a chance to do some serious economical damage right now. The army doesn't know where to go. The one in the main is still unanswered as well, picking up more and more probes.
Oh, and the army's just sitting there. Looks like... No. Oh, no. Preeminence has turned the death beam on the Nexus, but the Nexus is about to die. He's just letting it die, Zepph. Oh, no. Huge snipe from Terran. Can't believe that happened. And looks like the drop in the main did a fair bit of damage as well. All the workers on that gas has been killed. A lot of the mineral line looking quite naked. Let's have a look at the workers killed. 25 workers killed in that last drop. A much more effective drop there from Terran.
So awesome, and all this time has just been continuing to macro. He's got a lot of Vikings coming out for himself as well, so those Colossus aren't going to do so much. He will be able to 1- and 2-shot those very shortly, but it looks like Preeminence has had enough. He's going to go for a bit of an attack himself. That was really, really well played by Terran.
Terran, in fact, even leaving a Widow Mine in the mineral line of that 3rd as well. Very annoying to have to deal with that. They do a pretty huge amount of damage to a saturated worker line.
For sure.
We'll keep an eye on him.
Hurt that worker count even more.
Yeah. The army of Preeminence just staturing up for an attack here. He does an observer in visual range of that army there of Terran. Oh, Widow Mine taking out a few more probes there. And it looks like
Very
he's got
nice.
some Templars on the map. Some Archons, maybe some Storms. Does he have Storm research? No, actually he doesn't, so it's just going to be Archons.
He actually has a pretty scary looking army. I mean, there's like 5 Colossus in that composition, and the Mothership Core just got some more energy, so it can use mass recall if things get really sticky. It can also drop a Time Warp if he wants to go that path as well, so things could get serious.
Time Warp marries very well with Storm and Colossus, I think, because it makes the units harder to retreat from that all-important splash damage. I like Storm better with Time Warp. Anyway, huge engagement in the middle of the map. Zealots getting the front. So many Vikings. The Colossus are starting to die. That's a lot of Colossus, though. The Bio actually pulling away from the Stalkers. The Vikings are all getting torn to shreds by the Stalkers. And this Bio is actually starting to dwindle very quickly. So much splash damage in this Protoss army. Oh, God. Terran got absolutely decimated. Preeminence has got revenge. He's got red eyes right now. He is ready to put on some serious damage.
Wow, I thought Terran would have gotten the better end of that, to be honest, because his starter set micro backwards was superb. The Preeminence just better army control, I suppose. I don't even know what happened there. Those Vikings should have killed all the Colossus, but very well done by Preeminence. Well, he does clean that up, and now he can counter push.
The Vikings were kind of naked for a while because he was forced to move the Bio away, and the Stalkers just had free pickings. And he's attacking on the natural now, barreling down on this command center that won't be able to finish. The bunkers are basically non-existent, only 2 Marauders in that. It will die, and this is so much Protoss to have in a really bad spot for the Terran player.
Oh, wow, he's getting up into the production. He has a 50 supply lead. That is, in fact, only increasing at this point.
Oh, my.
And it looks like he may just kill him with this one push.
It looks like it. This counterattack is so powerful. Terran not prepared for it. In fact, engaging it in the middle of the map, and he probably thought what Zepph thought. He thought that his army would win that battle. But there was so much splash damage in this army. He didn't even have Storms, but he had I think 5 or 6 Colossus and Archons as well. And that is a Bio's worst nightmare. And look at all this drop supply for Terran in the main here.
No.
He is going to get supply caps very soon. Actually, maybe not, but still.
Oh, he should get supply capped, actually. That is a ton of supply drops that he's used there. And, I mean, all that he has left are SCVs and a couple of Widowmines that are doing their hardest, best job at trying to clean up this army, but it's just not going to happen. It looks like Terran, though, is just going to rebuild over here.
Yep, Terran just remaking all of his production up there by that planetary fortress. Yeah. And also is floating his other command center to the top left here, but I don't know what he can do, Zepph. It's really hard to come back at this point. I think he's clutching a little bit. Yeah,
he's still got a third. I mean, he has tons of income. He's floating 2k, 1.2k in minerals and gas respectively, but he just can't spend it. And so these 7 racks are going to be great, but he needs a lot more time to be actually able to get out an army that can contest, while I stumble over my words, Preeminence's fault here.
So Preeminence just did so much crippling damage to Terran here. Can Terran recover? He's got a long, hard road ahead of him. He is back in the Dark Ages. Preeminence is in Tier 3. Terran forced to start Tier 1 town all over again. And Storm being researched for Preeminence, which means he basically... it's almost impossible to get a Bio army big enough to deal with what Preeminence has right now.
Definitely. Preeminence can pretty much A-move his way to victory. Way to hang in there. Absolutely. But you can't fault him for trying.
No, absolutely not. He's got his team's best interests at heart, Terran. He knows that Intel's a very strong team, wants to just try and pull a rabbit out of a hat here, and I wonder if that hat has any rabbits left. At least he will get a free Colossus.
Yeah, very nice. That Colossus unable to defeat the repairing planetary, which was actually not in range to hit the Colossus anyway, so that's a shame, but I mean, Preeminence doesn't care at this point. Widowmine's going off.
Yeah, Widowmines have actually been a little bit annoying for Preeminence. He's been moving his army back and forth. The main had one in there as well, and he lost a few Zealots for basically nothing there, but I'm not sure he cares too much. His bank's pretty good, and he is up 144 supply.
Ooh, delicious. We've got a Fleet Beacon and a Dark Shrine coming down for Preeminence.
Oh, wow.
He's going, well, I am so incredibly ahead. Why not just go for every tech ever? And,
it's a shame that he can't build the kitchen sink, because that's all that he hasn't built right now. The entire Protoss tech tree has been created.
Indeed, and he's going to go expand up here.
He's not going to be happy about his new neighbor.
Yeah, he should probably check up there soon. Maybe he could... in fact, he's actually going to set a pylon up there. I'm not sure if that'll actually be in range to see what's actually there, but if he sees the SCP, that'll tip him off.
Yeah, that'll tip him off indeed. is Army Ball looks like it is going to move up into the top left there and try and scout down that base. All the production we know is actually out the front of this planetary here.
Yep, so. And he's actually trying to get a small force up, and if SCV left him alone long enough, he'd be able to do it. But
oh god, the bio of Terran is just getting absolutely lasered to death, and GG finally forced a punch out of this game. Very strong showing from Preeminence, coming back from pretty much a very ineffective Proxy 2 gate, but his macro was on the ball. He didn't really miss a beat, and even though Terran managed to do a really amazing drop in the mid game, that counterattack was amazing. So much splash damage.
Yep.
Not much you can do against that.
That's all it took. Oh well, we'll have to see if they can bring it back in the next match.
That's right. Game number 3 coming up in a second, guys. Do not go away. Maynard and Zepph, we'll see you there.